established in a community. And this is how we live. This is how we survive. We shared our own food, you know. Whereas we have, I remember your father saying one day that the people in Nigeria particularly are now in the church and not in the fields.
That's it. That's it.
They're not.
You know, we're just talking about poverty, right?
They are not in the fields.
They are not in the fields
in the
anymore.
churches waiting on God to come and give them something. But God bless those who bless themselves.
But God has already blessed us. God, you know, when we go to church, and I have to say this, my brothers and sisters, you need to listen. If you're not paying attention, you really should. Because when we go to church and we call in God,
yes,
you know, I have to say to Africans, God has forgotten us. God just said, you know what, don't waste my time. Because I'm going to tell you why.
I think God is tired.
God is tired.
If you're looking for the God that's going to come out of the sky, that one is tired. That one is on vacation. You have to look for the God inside of you.
That's it.
Because they say God lives inside of you.
That's it.
That's what the ancient ancestors believed.
The poverty. You know, people go to church and say God is power. God is strength. Well, if you think that God is power and God is strength and God is in you, that means you've got the power to get yourself out of your situation.
Exactly.
We keep calling upon God to help us, God to help us. God has already blessed us with what we need to work with.
Your own inner
We
strength.
refuse to use it, and then we keep saying, well, you know, I've been praying. Prayer without action is nothing at all.
Then you say, what is prayer?
So,
prayer is communication.
You know, I have to move to it. I mean, we have so much to talk about. The other thing, of course, is religious intolerance.
Yes.
Religious intolerance is another problem with Africa. We have, you know, if you look at the history of the African, we never had war. We never went to war because of religion. You read our history. We didn't because everybody has its own shrine.
Yes.
Okay? And everybody respected everyone else's shrine. As a matter of fact, people used to go to each other's shrine to pray.
Yes.
They used to go to each other's shrine to communicate because we believe that God is in everything.
Yes.
I mean, we believe that we don't believe
in the water, in the
the
air.
We don't believe that we know God more than the other person.
Yes.
We say onye nanke ya,
well, we
onye
had
nanke ya.
a different interpretation of what we relate to as God. In the past, it was made up of energy, and energy never dies. That means the ancestors never died. That meant that everything was composed of energy. And what is energy? Energy is life.
Yes.
Fire is energy.
Yes.
Water is energy. The earth is energy. The air is energy. So when all of this died, then all the ancestors died. Then it means God died. When the earth died, when the sun died, when the moon died, when the air died, when the river died, when the ocean died. As long as it's alive, then what we call God is alive.
That's right. We continue to kill each other over God. You know, we should, you know, the African,
we don't respect.
We don't respect what we believe God.
But who taught it to you to live that way?
Well, it goes without saying that the introduction of
religion versus spirituality.
There's a difference between, you just hit it on the head. There's a difference between religion and spirituality, because religion is focused on dogma, some kind of dogma that you have to abide.
Colonization.
Colonialism and all of that.
Yes.
And then the spirituality is
within.
You act according to the Spirit of God within you. In the past, and if I might use my African traditional proverbs, they say, that means if you listen within, you shall hear. Or actually, it means if you listen closely to the ground, you hear the footsteps of the ants.
Yes.
But in translation, it means if you listen inwardly, you will hear God speaking to you. So God is not outside of us. That is most African spiritual way of life. Now, that's not to say there are not some, we do have a diverse perspective in terms of who God is.
Okay.
But the God that tells us that it's okay to kill our fellow human being, that's not God.
But if